Hi everyone, it's Layla T. Welcome back to the channel. Alright, so uh, the last video, go ahead and watch that. That kind of goes over what I was talking about. So this video is just going to be like, I'm just going to go off on the steps that I list to to working with your family to reconnect. This is for the LGBTQ community, for male to female transgender girls like myself who have disconnected with their family like I have. These are steps that I'm taking to build wealth and to make a comeback after transition. You know, it took me a long time to transition, and now that I'm done transitioning, I want to go back and reconnect with my family. Okay, because I believe that you cannot do it alone, and before you you do anything, you should be squared away with your family. And I'll explain throughout these video vlogs on YouTube what that means. So, I'll just give you a little example. So, like, I would like to start a company. Okay, I'd like to I'd like to either go back to work for corporate or start a company. Before I do that, I need to reconnect with my immediate family. That means my dad, my brothers and sisters, who they all have their life and everyone sort of has moved on. And now I'm like, hey, wait a minute, I've transitioned and I need to get everyone back on the same page because I need family support. I can't do this alone. And I don't want to do it alone. That means before, shout out to anyone who's done it or who's like, we know this already. That means before I do anything with my life after transition, now that I'm here, is I want my family on board. You know, I don't want to just build wealth for myself and not have built inner family wealth. I mean, I have that, you know, in general, but I'm saying substantial or like real wealth within my family for myself. That means, you know, like whatever I'm successful at in life, that after I pass away, that I can leave a foundation for it and it can continue to sustain itself and support my legacy upon death. And I'll get into that. So I'll just give you a little bit of story. Is that, you know, my dad lives in another country and we don't really talk anymore. And my brother and I don't really talk anymore. And all of my immediate family, they just sort of do their own thing. We were never really we were close, but we never built wealth together or we never built something together as a family because of, you know, we had personal things that, you know, that it's just not something that we did together. So now that I'm older, I'm like, you know, if I can petition my family to work together again and try to start over after my transition, that's something I can do because that, you know, like it's important, you know. I mean, I'm kind of like judgmental. I see like a lot of people, you know, they build their wealth and they do all these things, but they don't square away with their family first. That means like I believe that families, you know, we should all be buried together. You know, if we lived life together, we should all be buried in the same cemetery together. So that means before you even apply for college or buy a house and or anything, you know, you should buy your burial plots, make sure that's squared away, you know, make sure you pay that off, and then and then move to, you know, to your next step. I believe that if you go to college, if like I'm the first one in my immediate family to want to go to college, like I wanted to go to Harvard, so I believe that in order for me to get into Harvard, my family needs to come to immediate family. That means mom and dad and the kids, my brothers and sisters. We need to come together as one unit, one team, and, you know, come up with the money to pay for my first year of college. I think that's important. If you're accept if a college accepts you as a time that someone in your family goes to school in the United States. I think that's important. It's just a belief. It's just an opinion that I have. I think it looks really good, especially if you want to go to an Ivy League school like Harvard. I think it really represents the American dream. So, and then I also believe that, and I've said this before, is that, I might not make it in this lifetime. I might not bring my family together. And that's okay. It's usually, I feel like, because I'm transgender, it's always the odd man out that wants to bring their family together. That, it's always like I don't have any kids. I don't understand what that means. So of course I want to bring my family together. But people that have had kids or whatever, they're not necessarily like that. Or everyone's just okay with the way things are. I'm not. It's like one thing has to be first before the next thing. So like I'm trying to bring my family together, and you know maybe we can, these are like the steps that I'm taking, like maybe we can put our money together, like what I make in a month, my dad makes in a month. We are, well, he's retired, so he lives on a very small fixed income, and I'm on Social Security disability, which is really small. I think between the both of us, we don't make a lot. Now, I know that I have to pay back this money to the government at some point. I know that it's that it's debt. It means that, like, if my condition never improves, which I have ADHD, if it never improves, I guess you can't pay it back because you have a disability. However, I did read that if your condition has improved, or transgenderism, that you have to pay back. That's like a loan, like a non it's like yeah, it's like a loan, but you don't have to pay anything on top of that loan. Like if you read the fine print for Social Security disability, you have to pay it back. And I believe, I should pay it back, you know, because, that's, I want to build wealth. I mean, and then also, I'm like, I'm all by myself. I live in New York. I could just, not have big dreams and not want to do more with my life at 42 and relax. I don't really need to worry about much, but no, I want more. Like I want my own business, and I want to buy a house. I used to want to finish college, but if it's not Harvard, which I do take a class at Harvard. I take contract law at Harvard. It's through this open source platform where you pay like a couple $100 and you can take a course at Harvard. It's a certificate. You're not a Harvard student. It's a certificate. So it's good enough for me. You get a certificate that says you've completed a contract law course at Harvard. So it says Harvard, and it makes me feel like, I graduated from Harvard. So, I mean, I hope you're following along. So these things are important. If you are American, and my dad is from Mexico, so he's, but he's not an immigrant. He's lives in Mexico, so he's a Mexican citizen, and I'm an American citizen. So he didn't immigrate, or he lived here, and then he moved back to Mexico. And my mom, she's from the United States. However, she's passed away, so I don't have her to sort of talk to her about this. So there's all these little steps that I'm gonna go over in these vlogs of my belief system on how to build correct wealth